Okay, hello everyone.
Hello.
So welcome back to our economy class. Today we're going to learn about inflation and recession. So, well, before we start our class today, I would like one of you to lead a prayer. Maybe Shanas?
Okay, so before we start the lesson, let's pray together. Pray begin. Pray finish.
Okay, so is anybody absent today?
No.
No. Okay, Farid. Okay. So today we're going to discuss about what is inflation and what is recession and is inflation good for economy. So let's just. So the first material is that we need to watch this video first.
Okay, first off, the simplest definition. Inflation is when there is more money in the economy than stuff to spend it on. But if you're like me, the simplest definition never does it for you. So let's try this. Imagine a village that has one market where people buy all of their stuff, their food, their clothes. But one day the government shows up because they're worried about the economy of this village. So they tell the people that if they want to take out a loan, they're going to make sure that the banks will not charge them a high interest rate. They want to encourage the people to take out loans and spend money. Oh, and they also drop off a giant pile of cash for everyone in the village. And everyone in the village is like, sweet, I am feeling pretty rich. Villagers now are going to their market and they're buying way more stuff. Many of them have been eyeing the fancy electric bike in the market that before they couldn't justify, but now they totally can because they have all this new money.
The store owner's like, sweet, this is great for business, but he's running out of bikes. In fact, he's running out of everything because now all of these people have extra money and they're buying way more than they used to. The store owner's like, I can't keep up with all this demand. I should raise prices. And that is inflation. But the village is all of us, and the market is the entire economy. When there's extra money floating around and people want to spend it faster than businesses can make stuff, then all of the businesses in all of the industries raise their prices, and that is inflation. It's a natural part of the economy. It's kind of a good thing in small doses because it means that the economy is growing, and it's why movie tickets used to be 25 cents and now they're like $15. And slowly over time, it's fine. Okay, let's go back to the village and see what happens if we keep going at this rate. The store owner has now doubled his prices on bikes. The interest rate is super low, so he takes out a loan to build a new factory to make bikes. This is good. He's growing a business. But the government money eventually runs out, and his prices are still double. But now the store owner has no one to come buy all of his new bikes. And now he has this factory and more employees, but no customers. He has to shut down the factory, lay off everyone, and slowly start lowering his prices. This is called recession.
So according to the video, what do you think about inflation? Anybody want to give an answer? Or no? Okay, it's okay. It's quite hard to understand. So inflation, general understanding of inflation is when there are more money in the economy than stuff to spend it on. I mean, this one means that when the people purchasing power is too high, but then the factory don't have the things that they should put on. This one. Inflation is when you pay $15 for $10 in what you used to get for $5 when you had here. I mean, what it means that when you like teh kotak, it used to be 2,000 or 3,000. Now it gets into 4,000 and 5,000. That's the meaning of inflation because the resources that the company need to buy, the price getting raised, and the demand is too many demand in the market. Okay, is there good inflation? Yeah. Most economists agree that the low, stable, and predictable rate inflation of around 2% is beneficial for the health of the economy. Next one, the recession. So, in a simple understanding, recession is when the economy is shrinking, massive layoffs, and low spending power. So, it means that the economy of the country cannot holding responsible for the whole production of the country. It means a massive layoff. And when COVID-19 strikes, it happens, it's the same definition with the recession. And low spending power, it means that people cannot buy the things that they usually buy. I mean, like in the COVID-19 era, the people used to buy, you say like rice for around 5,000, and then suddenly it gets into 10,000 and 15,000 because they are rarity in the market, because they cannot find a supply of the food because they are being, like, how do you say, like imprisoned in their whole house. So a recession is a period of reduces economic activity. This is the general difference of both inflation and recession. Inflation is when the sustained increase in the general price level of goods and service within an economy over a period of time. And recession is essentially a significant decline in economic activities that spread across the economy and lasts for more than a few months. With too many inflation, you may create a recession. Okay, so from here, do you guys have any question about inflation or recession? Do you have a question? You may raise your hand. And if not, let's continue to discuss. No? Okay. So let's discuss something. Why the government give money to the people during the COVID period, and how does it relate to the inflation? So I want you to think about why the government gives money to the people during COVID-19 period. Why?
Because the people need the money.
Because the people need the money for what?
For the inflation.
For the inflation?
Yeah.
Okay, good argument. Anyone else? Let's give the opinion. Why the government gives money to the people? Okay.
To make the money goes around in the cycle.
Okay, you need to revive the economic cycles.
Yes.
Okay.
Because if the money stops, then the whole economy will also stop.
Okay, that's a perfect answer from Farid. Let's give applause to Farid and Henry. Maybe Sanas want to have a question?
But Farid is not coming. He is Akbar.
Oh yeah, okay, Akbar, sorry. Okay, so Farid's explanation is correct because when COVID happens, people have no access to supply and anything, and that's why there are massive like layoff in the COVID. So that's why they don't have the money. That's why the government, the bank, give these people the money for them to buy something to revive the economic cycle. So how does the bank work in the economic cycle? Is it good or is it bad? Do you think when the COVID happens, the bank gives people the money, is it a good thing or a bad thing? What do you think? I just want an opinion. It's no right or wrong. Maybe you want to give an answer? You want to give it a shot? Oh. This is the answer from the first question. To support income and spending. When the business were forced to shut down or limit operation, many people lost their job and saw their work hours and pay decreases significantly. The next one is to boost agriculture demand. The primary goal is to ensure people could still buy goods, like Farid has mentioned, and maintain shelter despite to prevent a deeper recession. So how does the bank work in the economic cycle? And when the COVID-19 strike, the bank lowered the interest rate for us to borrow money, which then led to people spend more money on purchasing something. This is actually a good thing. However, then the business couldn't keep up with the demand, start rising price and inflation. If the bank lowers the interest too much, later on, what happened is the hyperinflation because the business couldn't keep up with the demand and they start rising the prices and then people cannot buy the things again. So that's why inflation happens. This is the cycle of doom. Okay. So next one is we want to have a discussion. I want you to create a group around 3 to 4 members. So first of all, you need to read the first articles and the second article. The first one is about the global scope, entitled "What Caused the High Inflation During the COVID-19 Period," and the Indonesian scope, "Revisiting the Past, Analyzing Indonesia 1998 Monetary Crisis." Okay, this is the question that you need to answer. Do you think inflation or monetary crisis will happen again in the near future? And do you think including what Indonesian government policies that they are set to prepare for the next predicted monetary crisis. Okay, so the next one is the project. So I want you to make 500 words report regarding this two whole topic. Is there any possibility of a 2030 monetary crisis? And the second one is, what should the government do to anticipate it? Okay, it's time to get to the presentation. Okay, wait. Okay, so I want one group to come forward to explain the report. Maybe Brian's group, you can report it forward.
Okay. Based on my group discussion, so while predicting a monetary crisis in 2030 with absolute certainty remains impossible, a confluence of concerning global trends necessitates proactive consideration by governments. Soaring global debt levels, particularly government and corporate borrowing, coupled with escalating geopolitical tensions and the growing financial ramification of climate change, create a fragile economic landscape. Furthermore, demographic shifts, a potential slowdown in global growth, and the interconnectedness of global risk often term a global financial architecture.
Okay, that's all?
Yes.
Okay, please give applause to Brian. Okay. Now we have to get into the comment section. So the other group has to comment to the Brian's presentation. About first one is how strong was their prediction, and the government called accurate, and was the presentation engaging. Maybe other group. Rama group, okay.
So I want to say about how strong was their prediction first. The predictions from organizations like S&P Global and the World Bank regarding the potential of 2030 monetary crisis, while based on the comprehensive analysis of the current trends like rising global debt and potential economic slowdowns, it should be viewed that as informed the assessment of vulnerabilities rather than definite forecasts. S&P's debt projection and the World Bank's growth outlook highlight concerning trajectories and potential risk amplified by the geopolitical tensions, climate change impacts, and demographic shifts, as also emphasized by the World Economic Forum's identification of the interconnected global risk. While these organizations employ sophisticated models and experts' insights, the inherent complexity of the global economy and the unpredictability of the significant future events mean the accuracy of such long-term predictions is inherently limited. Their primary values lies in identifying potential pathways and urging proactive policy responses to mitigate this risk.
Okay. So about the third one, was the presentation engaging?
Overall, I think the presentation was pretty engaging. It explains a lot about the questions being addressed, and yeah, it has a lot of many details that I should have understand, but I think I get the gist of it.
Okay, please give applause to Rama. We'll get to the end of this lesson. What have we learned today? So anybody want to give their opinion about what have we learned today? Anybody? Yeah.
How to understand economy works.
Oh, how to understand the economy works. Okay, that's good. Please give applause to Farid. So today we have learned about the inflation and recession. Okay. Okay, so I think that's all from me. Before we end our class, I would like one of you to lead the prayer, see and pray. Maybe Shanas again.
After finish the lesson, let's pray together. Pray begin. Pray finish. Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys for your attention and see you next time.
See you. Thank you.